obviously, if I can ask you a bit about last Saturday, how hard was it to resist the temptation to sort of come down and get involved, and what kind of prompted you to get involved?
Well, I'd love to admit that I did resist. I don't think I did, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was a strange scenario going down to 10 men after 9 minutes. You know, it was first off, it's strange being in the stand again, sat there, and then all of a sudden your team, the plan, whatever they were gonna do, just totally changed, and not being allowed to start till Monday. It was a really weird situation. Do you know what I mean? I sat next to Jamie, and he nudged me, he went, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I'm not allowed on." He said, "Well, just go and talk to him if you want." So anyway, they tried to, and I almost got sent off before it even started. I mean, it's madness, isn't it? And I said, I'm acting like a fan, really, but they made me move further down in the second half, because but with not being registered, there's no way they could have fined me for talking really to my staff, is it? As a, you know, what if a fan stood there and started talking to us, you know? But they kept actually coming out the bench, so yeah, it was really, really strange. The atmosphere was strange. I didn't realise there's a horrible rivalry between Gillingham and us. I didn't realise that. Some bad blood from a long, long time ago. So you could feel that from the Gillingham supporters. And then it was just really quiet, and it was really weird, and I was, you know, in amongst everybody, being sat next to people. You know, you sort of got, it was almost as if here we go again type feeling, you know. But I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I did what I did, and people have videoed me and what I was standing on the side and all of that nonsense. But you know, I think hopefully it showed the Swindon public that I do care about this club, and I have loved Bristol Rovers all my life, because they told the truth to me when I was young, and they helped me become a player in the first place. But it's all about where you are now and what you're doing, and I'm really, really privileged to be here. So I felt that privilege when that goal went in the end. It was really quite surreal. I told a young lad next to me, I said, "You think we're going to score?" He went, "No, not really." I went, "Well, I think we are." There was only 5 minutes left, and lovely little blonde lad, I didn't even ask his name. I said, "If you can help me think that we might," a bit like Santa, do you know what I mean? I said, "Because I believe we're going to." And he went, "Do you know what? Yeah, maybe we will." And I went, "Can you tell all of them down there and all of those over there?" And then I got up and went behind as we were running out of time, and then it came, and it was a fantastic cross, great finish. And I've seen the video from our two lads who video behind the goal, and it was, you don't get a noise there. It seems to go out with, there's, you know, we almost need a roof around to keep it in, because it wasn't until you're in that bit behind the goal and the lads are videoing it and you actually get the feeling of it, you know. It's really, but everything exploded, and you know, hopefully the lads didn't deserve to be behind. Yes, we deserved for Grant to be sent off. We did. I thought the referee was excellent. He got that right, but you know, the way we started to try and move and started to try and pass the ball, and you know, at the end of the day, considering I hadn't even started yet, I didn't even start till Monday, I was very pleased with them, and I've said that after, but it was totally and utterly surreal for me.
You talked before about having really kind of missed it, so having had a few days back into it and the whole thing, but how does it feel for you to be back as a manager?
I think feels like I've done 2 years in about 4 days. I think the lads going to go in and put their ears in a bucket of water. I've tried to get them to understand an awful lot. It really is like printing something. You want to give them one colour, then you put the next colour on. I'm probably up to green. I've probably done black, I've done red. I'm probably up to green, which is probably too much, but they're getting it. I think they can do what I want. I think we got an awful lot of skillful lads here, and what I'm trying to do is get them to understand each other's role and encourage each other and be a little bit louder. And to be honest, I've seen the under-18s play in the FA Cup the other day. I want our lads to play like them, with that freedom and the passion and the the controlled aggression that they had, those young lads, they did really, really well. And you know, they'll get it, they'll understand. And you know, we're in the mire at the minute, but you know, I feel I'm floating above it because I want to try and get them to see, hey, come on, here we go, come on. And you know, everything's got to start somewhere, you know. So that's where I am, and I'm in a much nicer situation here because I'm not on the board. I'm not a board member, and it's not where I'm meant to be honest. I'm meant to be out on the grass with everyone else, and I'm meant to be telling them and pushing them to actually move towards where we want to go, which is I'm in the right place, I think, and I'm completely and utterly delighted. I feel normal. I feel like I know this, and when you have all this thinking everywhere and every day, I've missed that. There's no replacement for it, and at last, I think my lovely wife's going to be much happier than she's been over the last few weeks and months.
When you've sort of had a week or so with the players, what would you kind of hope to see on the pitch on Saturday? Be it, I don't know, in terms of patterns of play, anything, tactics, kind of energy. What would you hope for?
It's more about them understanding that the connections that they could have and that they could make with each other, and try and add to whatever they've been taught up to now. Because if I try and change everything all in once, it's not going to work. They'll get confused. Oh, what does the gaffer want us to do? So really it's about making everybody feel that it's okay to fail, you know, as long as you're failing in the right way. And you know, I've just talked about how many points we've still got to play for, which is 92. No, actually it's 96. 96 points. It's quite a lot of points. So whatever was happening before, I want to be judged by the end of this time that I'm here, and if I can extend that time, I'd be delighted, but I've got to earn that right. I'm really appreciative that Clem believes that he wants to have a go with me, and I'm determined to try and, in this role, which is the role I know, deliver to him what he wants, and I'm sure he wants it, you know, and that is success. And sometimes it takes an awful long while to get it. So 7 months ain't a long time, but hopefully it's long enough for me to prove to him and to the fans by what happens on the pitch, not what happens in these things. That's irrelevant. It's what the lads do. I want them to carry my thoughts and my hopes and my dreams out there with them and show it in the way that they're playing.
And also for me, is it useful to have 2 cup games where there isn't that pressure of league points to give you a little chance to kind of look at the squad and assess the squad, or are you far more competitive than that question might suggest?
Young man, a game is a game and you want to win it, and getting in a winning habit is not easy, but it's a wonderful thing to do. The FA Cup is probably the competition that I love the most. Never won it, never got anywhere near winning it, apart from quarter final. Got beat at Man United, lost 2-0 when I was at QPR, and Sir Alec Ferguson came in and shook my hand at the end of the game saying I played well, which meant the world to me. But I said, get out, because you just won. You only said it because you won. But yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful competition, and you know, we need a run. We need a cup run, and Clem's already told me that he wants promotion and a cup run. I said, oh, okay, I'll do all of that in 7 months. That's no problem. No pressure. But that's the way it is, you know. I've got to, experience really does help you in times like this, and I hope that I can show the lads that in those times where we might feel under pressure, they're not under pressure from me. They're under pressure every day from me to play the way that I want them to and to express themselves. And if we can express ourselves in a positive way, even if it's going wrong, I believe the fans will be with them. They've always been here, they always will be, and you know, clubs have good times and bad times, and I would love to try and give them some good times, because It doesn't seem like they've had any for a while.
And so one more if I can sneak it in. We've also got more people here than usual. Do you enjoy having the kind of profile you do, or do you sometimes wish people would talk more about what you've achieved in football?
To be honest with you, I've embraced the media after I hated everybody who spoke to me when I was at Bristol Rovers. I took every question personally. I wanted to kill every one of them, and when I went to QPR, I literally thought, you can't do that here. I've always had the mindset that nothing I ever do is ever good enough, particularly for me. So I'm still in that mindset. I'm more than happy with what I've done so far, but I have a clean slate, and as far as I'm concerned, I've done nothing. This is a new chance, so I do not look at what happened there, what happened here, what happened there. And just as one of my favourite sports outside of football is tennis, Roger Federer said, I don't ever think about that double fault I've just made when I've got to make the next serve. You can't allow yourself to do that, you know. And what we all need is a huge shot of optimism. And hopefully, day in, day out, week in, week out, I can try and bring that. Honestly, that's all that matters. I've never seen anyone do well without enjoying themselves, honestly. So I want a smile on their face. I want to be out on the grass. I don't want to be in a boardroom. I don't want to talk about what the club should do and where we should build and what we're doing. I just try and get some results for the team.
Lovely, best of luck going, sir.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned there about the interaction you had with the fan on Saturday and trying to create that positive environment. What would you like to see from the fans to help you do that?
It's not just the fans I want a positive energy from. It's you lot as well. So if I ever pick up what you've said about me, I've been courteous, I've been nice, I've been much, so you should judge me on what I do right now, not what I've done before.
Of course. Actually, I was going to ask you about the youth team, because it was a very good performance. You said last week about wanting to, it would be nice to have a Harry Kane in there. Did you watch that and think you might have one of those, to see if you can bring those in?
I actually believe there's probably two who could play straight in my team already. So we got a game against Tottenham coming up, so we did that before, but I thought there was two who could come in with our lot and actually join in and maybe have a chance of playing. And possibly more than two. You play too many of them all at once, and it goes wrong. But I was delighted with the way they played. I was delighted with the passion they had. The controlled wanting to win was excellent, so I'm more than delighted to see that, but I'm here to win games. In my last job, I played a 16-year-old still at school. I get him out of school. He didn't make it. He's been let go. I would have not done that to him. I would have kept him with us. I thought he was good enough. Louis Boyd. And now he's not playing. So did I throw him in too early? Did I not? Because I wasn't there to help him. So I got to be really careful what I do and what I say about these young ones. But I met them today. They're on our training ground. I was so infused to me. Wonderful. There's no fear in young ones, but you need a balance. They're fearless, but they're also knowledgeless. So when it goes wrong, they need some leaders. So it's all about trying to get the balance right. But more importantly, it's about what we're going to try to do. And I will try to play football that we get an awful lot of shots at goal and an awful lot of crosses in and an awful lot of fighting for the ball in higher areas to try and win it back, and don't want us to drop back unless we need to, and then, you know, front foot type of things. I can't do anything different. So hopefully it'll be an exciting role, and I don't want him scared to lose, because it's an environment where I'm encouraging you to be brave enough to fail, but you fail with the right DNA. You fail trying to be industrious, adventurous and humble with it all, just like our badge says, just like our club motto says. Absolutely wonderful. I probably wouldn't use those words. I've had a bit of dyslexia, I might struggle to spell them, What a terrible word that is, isn't it? Dyslexia, when you can't spell. Unbelievable. But I agree with that. Industrious means you work really, really hard. Adventurous means you're brave. And you want the ball and you want to be forward, you want to play forward. And then humble means when you do well, you don't go shout about it and tell everybody you're going to do it. So I think you'll find a much more measured me. I'm 61. I can deal with everything out there. All I'm asking is my team to be helped with some positive vibes if you see it. If you see it. Not if you don't. Tell them the truth. Because I certainly will. But bring it all on. Can't wait. So excited. I haven't felt normal for years. And don't argue that. Don't write that out as something silly, but I'm probably not, am I? I'm probably not normal. I don't think any football manager is normal. If you're Ten Hag and you've won 2 trophies in the last 2 years and you're sacked, does it make any sense? Possibly. You could argue he should be better than this, should be doing this, but to pay him up and then go and buy another one out of his contract who ain't done anything yet, football's just completely crazy in my book. Right? So I've been at every level. I can't wait to make these lads believe they're much better than they ever dreamed they could be already, and I'm going to try and show them what the higher level could be like, and who's to say what can stop us? Only if we're not good enough. And I haven't seen that yet. Do you know what I mean? And life is on about rising to the challenge. I know exactly where I am now. Nothing I've ever done ever matters. Doesn't. It's only your next day. And I want them to be better tomorrow than they are today. These games are early. I wish it was pre-season, but I didn't get the job in pre-season. So, you know, you can deal with some failures without it all counting. But I will be, if I lose on the weekend, that's an FA Cup game that I haven't won. So that is 0% and 100% loss. And that's the facts. And if you want to see what I've done, have a look at the facts. The facts are there in writing. And I've looked at them on Wikipedia. So I know who was targeted to go down with my stats if I stayed. In every job I've been in. There's probably only Millwall. Only Millwall that looks like that second year, but don't discount what I did in the first year and how tough that was. So stats are great if you know how to read them, if you know how to look. Everybody's doing that these days, but I don't want to be judged on anything I've ever done before. I only want to be judged on what I do here.
And lastly, I listened to something you'd said before about your time between Leicester and Blackpool. You'd kind of gone away and you kind of learned about how you wanted to do things differently. Did you do anything like that in your time off between your last job and now, where you kind of think, approaching this one, you might want to do things in a different manner?
What I didn't need to know was what was happening above me on a daily basis. It's very distracting when the fans hate the owner and then someone's trying to buy the club underneath him and he knows about that and he gets worried, and then he tries to bring somebody in who can support his cash when there's, you know, that's not really football, is it? That's politics, more or less, and that's what I'm not. I'm not an owner. Don't need to know that. I just want to. So if I can concentrate on what I've done all my life instead of worry about that and be told about that, none of my business. I don't care who's building some buildings and how much they might make in your town. I don't care. I want to get a better football team. I don't need to be sat here. I need to be out on the grass with them. So there's a lot of things I've learned, and what I saw was I wouldn't ever want to be in a boardroom ever again. So I'm glad I didn't invest in that club with my own money. And if that hurts the Grimsby fans, I'm sorry, but that's a fact. I choose who I work with as long as I can, right? And I have fallen out with some people in the past. Plymouth, it didn't go well with one of the board members, but I can't tell you about those things because that's our private business. and it would be bringing the club into disrepute. So I am a manager, and that's all I know. And I believe I'm a motivator, so I need to motivate my team, because at the minute they look a little bit short on confidence. And you know what, the beautiful thing about confidence is only one word, and when you've looked it up you know exactly what it means, and it's so easy to try and sort out. What does it say in the dictionary? Confidence is an anticipation of a positive outcome. And hopefully, if you ever interview any of the people in here, I've tried to bring that this week. I'm almost flat in a minute. I need to charge myself up again to go again, because it was that draining. There you got it. Damn it. It was that draining. Hopefully they've all got a little bit about it. Do you know what I mean? But Rome wasn't built in a day. Football will always go on. The politics can stay wherever that is, and all I want to do is be out on the grass with my team. We've got a fantastic structure as a club. Absolutely fantastic structure. And what I need to do is make sure that the guidance they're all getting matches up with each other, so anybody in the youth team can come straight into the first team setup and know exactly the way we're playing. I know they've tried to do that, but the manager has to be in on it. He doesn't need to be looking over his shoulder worrying about, hang on a minute, and all of that nonsense. I don't worry about that now. I've only got 7 months to start with. I'd like it to be a lot longer than that, but I didn't want that either yet. I need to prove to Clem that I know what I'm talking about. I need to reinvent myself, and that will come with people. I don't need to look at other football now. I can ask, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I change my style when it wasn't working the second half of the season? When we were attacking the Premier League and we weren't quite good enough to win all the time. I don't need to change that. I should have done it then with that team. I needed to bring one of my fullbacks in when we were attacking down that side, and then we'd have a box. I didn't do that. I didn't want to, but they all sussed me. And we should have sold Charlie Adam, and they should have let me reinvest his £6 million into the 4 players that I had, but we didn't do that. We didn't know that at the time. And in Palace, I went up, I won 1 game, I drew 3 games, and then I lost 4 games. And in the thing, it said he only got 1 win in 8 games. Yeah, but what about the 3 draws? We had half decent results in the first 4 games out of 8, and then I fell out with the owner because he signed someone that I didn't agree with and I didn't know about it, so I should have just shut up and I'd have kept my job. But typical me, I'm arguing with him. I should have done it in a much more learned way, but I didn't. So wow, there's been so many things, and all I want to do now at my time of life is use the wonderful advantage that I've got over everybody. I know what happens, but I can't change the score unless I get the lads to believe in what they're doing. And what I have to be very, very careful is they go out there Saturday and play with their own brain. Not, oh, what does the gaffer want me to do here? What does the gaffer want me to do here? And that's a bit, oh, the crowd are moaning, I don't know if I want it. You just got to be free to go and express yourself. And hopefully I can bring that. If you were one of my players, you'd know exactly what I said to you this week. And I think if you ask them, I think they feel a tad better about themselves, hopefully. That's all you need to do, is if we can all come in and feel a little bit better than we did last week, today, then we're moving forward. And then if you can get momentum, you never know what's going to happen. 96 points we've got to play for, and 2 cup competitions. I've got a youth set up. I've got a director of football who's in charge. He's already telling me who's out a contract and who's already, oh wow, it's already rocking and rolling. Wow, what a fantastic setup. These wonderful facilities. I love the fact we got an office there. I'm not so sure that it's not haunted, by the way, because my door opened up on its own the other day. Apparently there's a poltergeist there. And my wife would love that because she watches so many hours of paranormal programs and nothing happens. If she came here, something might. But this is life, and I can't tell you how alive I feel. And how alive I feel. And at the end of the day, when I am no longer here, and I'm being put in the ground or burnt, whatever they're going to do with me, I'm not quite sure. I probably want a nice big funeral, but my wife said, get out of it, we're putting you in a box and you're going. I just want on my headstone, here lies Ollie, he tried as hard as he could, because every club I've ever been at, I did exactly that. And if it didn't work, it wasn't because I didn't try hard enough. And that's a fact, and that's something I'm very proud of.
Just one on the camera, please. Colchester, how much do you know about Colchester? Danny Cowley, about 8-9 years ago at Lincoln, everything he touched turned to gold.
There's two of them in there. They're both
exactly,
still doing it
brothers,
together. Yeah. That's football for you. Everything turns to gold until it doesn't, you know, and then it all turns to tears and pain, and then you get tarnished, you know, because no one's perfect, are they? You know, no matter who they are. So the level of each tier in football has risen quite dramatically over the years, and I'm really proud of that. And some of the new people in it, some of the new generation are fantastic. You know, if you look at Notts County, he's come from nowhere, and wow, what a job he's doing. They looked at someone who can do really well on a very small budget, and that's what they got him, so I'm really proud of it. But, you know, life's about people and your club, and sometimes it's bad energy, sometimes it's good energy. I picked up Palace on good energy, and then it went a little bit wobbly because, you know, you lose 5 of your staff, your manager, and you take 5 of your heart out of the team when you're near the top of the table. That's hard. That was a different scenario, and at first they weren't having me, so I had to learn how they played. So I've done that. You know, what you got to try and do is make sure that Danny will know and his brother will know that the fact is you just got to reinvent yourself all the time, and you can only do what your lads are capable of. And I'm delighted, I believe they're capable of an awful lot here with the ball, with and around the ball. You know, they can handle it quite well, they're nice and comfortable with it, and you know, but they've got to know they're connected, they've got to understand. So it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for them to rise out of some doom and gloom. And you never know how long that might take. If it's longer than 7 months and the chairman ain't happy that I haven't shown enough, then it'll be someone else's opportunity. But as long as I can help along the way and actually say, no, that's great, this is good, we should be doing this, we should be on this, and I feel valued because I've got some knowledge that I'm still willing to share. I'm still really, I mean, come on. Someone like I mean a Neil Warnock, but he's 15 years older than me, Neil. Don't get me wrong, I'm delighted to be in the same bracket as Neil, but he's 15 years older than me. I know I've been around a long time, maybe too long for some people, but I don't really care. I can't wait to rejig me thinking, have a right good look at it, and you know, because football really doesn't change. The pitches are much better than they used to be, but football doesn't change. The knowledge is getting better, people can get fitter, and you know, I haven't got to do any of that anymore. All I got to try and do is, oh, hang on a minute, body shape, here we go, can you move the ball, blah, 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 blah. And then if we do any good, we might lose them. Because normally the big wigs come flying in and carry them off in their claws, and you know, but wow, what an opportunity. And a West Country club as well, by the way. Wonderful. How great's that for me? I ain't got to move. I'm 14 miles down the road, and when I finish this I'll be home a bit early, which is nice, you know. I think she's fed up with me still being at home, to be honest with you. She don't need me, why does she need me? I can't tell you how real I feel again. Do you get what I mean? Real. How's that?
Can you go to Aqua?
No, thank you.
No? You haven't asked one? You just pinched everybody else's. What's all that about? You can't come in here without a question. No, you gotta ask me one.
Okay, I'll
no,
do
come
it.
on.
Simon. I feel very nervous, actually. Sorry. Especially when I find out one of these sort of things. I feel really nervous.
I'm loving your daps, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
But they should be red and white now.
Yeah, apologies.
I am not Bristol Rovers anymore. They should be red and white, thank you very much.
That's fair.
Have you got a question? I'm only joking. You don't.
I don't know. Really, it's just you've taken training. Do you sort of have a good idea of what your squad's going to look like for Saturday? Really, have sort of season ticket holder as a fan.
Yeah.
I think really what you were saying about sort of getting the fans behind you.
The players need that. They need an environment to feel safe in. They have to earn that. They feel safe with me, they feel safe with my staff, but they need to earn that on Saturdays, particularly at home, with the way they conduct their business, what we're trying to achieve in a style that we're trying to achieve it, which is we fight until we have no breath left in our body. Right? Honestly, that is quite simple. But I'm elated with what I've seen. And I'm not saying, I am absolutely delighted with what I've seen. I believe we can do so much better than what has happened for us so far, but we need to adopt a different attitude, and we show no fear, and we're moving, we're proactive, not reactive, and we understand some principles of play that I've already given them that takes away the worry about tactics. If you're trying to think about where to pass on tactics, oh no, principles of play are so clear, right? We look forward, we play forward, we get there with style, with passion, we support, we overload people if we can, all the time. Don't just be involved once, you're involved at least twice, because you play it, you follow, you pass, you boot, bomb, and that speeds up their thought process. And I can show them bits and pieces, but the natural talent that is in this football club is really pleasing. It's just whether we can get that all together with the encouragement they need when it's not going right. They need to do that themselves. And there's some little things you can get to happen that you pass over responsibility, so they know what the team is already today. They know why I've chose that team. Then tomorrow morning they're going to be handed the set plays, what they do, what they're likely to be, so we can't name who they're marking, but there's your markers, I'm going to hand that to the captain, and we're going to go out there and we're going to mark whether they can do it quick enough for our liking. Corner there, left hand side, there you go, set up. And if they don't know it, how are they going to know on Saturday? Most staff tell them, I'm just going to hand it over. They got to solve it. They got to solve the problems on a Saturday. They got to see where their team is, and they got to do it. So silly little things like that will make them more aware of what they're responsible for and how much they have to work together. Sounds stupid, but honestly, tiny little bits. There you go. I've already put them in groups. I've asked them some questions about, as a group, that they got to talk to their other people who are they're being picked ahead of and they're not being picked, so they got to be mates. It's like shocking. Are you allowed to take their phones away? Hang on a minute. It's almost as if like, I'm here on the far post, text, because people are scared to talk these days. So oh my God, their ears are ringing. But hopefully one or two things might have stuck, and I just keep adding every week. But honestly, I'm delighted with them. And you know what, even if we don't win and we don't play well, they've tried so hard this week, they understand the praise that I've given them. So I will not be as critical as I will be in a few months' time, because they should know it a lot better by then.
That's fair.
You know? But thank you very much for your question.